All right, breaking news coming in just moments ago into the CBS newsroom. CBS News has learned the Justice Department is expected to present a possible criminal case and seek a grand jury indictment against former National Security Advisor John Bolton as early as this afternoon. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane joins us from Washington with more on this. So, Scott, what are we learning?
We know there's a grand jury in Greenbelt, Maryland, at the federal courthouse there this afternoon. And multiple sources tell CBS News a presentation by the Department of Justice seeking an indictment, a criminal indictment against former National Security Advisor John Bolton, could happen with that grand jury in that courthouse this afternoon. John Bolton's home and his office in Washington, D.C. were searched in August by federal agents under a court-approved search warrant. And we know from our reporting in the time since that among the things agents secured during those searches were electronic devices, and that it's an investigation into the potential mishandling and misappropriation or unlawful possession of classified records. John Bolton has long unequivocally denied wrongdoing, but this grand jury could hand up an indictment as early as this afternoon in Greenbelt, Maryland. And to give you a little geographical understanding of all this and why this is happening in Maryland, John Bolton lives in Maryland, in Montgomery County, Maryland. That's one of the counties that reports up to the Greenbelt Federal Courthouse, which is also not too far outside of Washington, D.C. Nothing in the world of grand juries is guaranteed, but two sources tell CBS News that presentation is likely to happen this afternoon with two career prosecutors from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland.
So, Scott, you and I know that it's often been said by attorneys that you could indict a grand jury can indict a ham sandwich. It's not easy to clear the bar to get an indictment from a grand jury. The question, of course, is who's going to prosecute it, and how different is this indictment or the possible indictment from the one that was brought against James Comey and Letitia James?
It's going to be instinctive for a lot of people to draw parallels to the other two very high-profile indictments recently returned by grand juries against former FBI Director James Comey and New York's Attorney General Letitia James. This is different for a few reasons. First of all, different jurisdiction. It's not happening in Virginia like those other two cases by a recently appointed Trump-allied U.S. attorney. This is happening in Maryland, different courthouse, and our reporting is that there are career prosecutors who'd likely be giving the presentation today, not recent political appointees. What's more, this case already has had, if it's filed as a criminal case, a search warrant approved by a judge that was executed in August that led to federal raids in D.C. and in Maryland. We didn't see that in the James Comey or Letitia James cases. But this is all in the hands of a grand jury if a presentation is made. Yes, there's the phrase, Vlad, that grand juries could indict a ham sandwich, but that's been true until recently. A lot of grand juries have rejected Department of Justice cases in Washington, D.C. in recent weeks, and in the James Comey case, the grand jury there rejected one of the charges the feds tried to bring.
All right, we'll be watching. I know you will as well, Scott, and we'll check back in with you a little bit more when we get more. We got some sound here from the President of the United States in the Oval Office yesterday. I want to play a bit of that for you. It has to do with Adam Schiff. Let's play that.
They have committed massive political crime. I hope they're looking at Shifty Schiff. I hope they're looking at all these people. And I'm allowed to find out. I'm allowed to, I'm in theory, the chief law enforcement officer, but I have a very good, talented group. This is about something else, but I hope they're looking at political crime because there's never been so much political crime against a political opponent as what I had to go through. They raided my house in Florida. It was an illegal raid.
All right, Scott, let me get your take before I let you go. I know we were just talking about what could happen possibly with Bolton, but the president now also signaling his intention to use the Justice Department to go after Congressman Adam Schiff. What's your take there?
CBS News has learned Senator Adam Schiff has
Senator, of course.
That's a recent change. He was a congressman when he investigated President Trump on the House January 6th Select Committee. On the same day President Trump was reelected, Adam Schiff was elected to the U.S. Senate. CBS News has learned Senator Schiff has secured a private attorney to help protect or advise him in the case of a future criminal matter brought against him by the Trump administration, an indication of just how much concern there is here about possible extensions of the Department of Justice's criminal matters into political rivals of the president.
Scott, why does the president say that the raid on his home to retrieve those classified documents that he took when he left the White House after his first term was illegal?
Well, critics will just say that that's wrong, that it was never deemed to be an illegal search. The criminal case involving those classified records in Florida was dismissed by a Trump-appointed judge in Florida a few days after the assassination attempt in July 2024. The judge ruled that the special counsel in the case may not have been lawfully appointed to the position, but didn't make a determination the raid or the search warrant was unlawful. The president's made that argument many times.
All right, Scott. Again, this is a fast-moving story. We just got that soundbite in from the president that we wanted you to opine on. We'll get more, obviously, when we hear about Bolton, and we'll check in with you when that happens. Thank you very much, my friend.